What's up, everyone? Welcome to TVCaptive.com presents the Vampire Diaries podcast, Season 5, Episode 14, No Exit. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have my co-host, Mike.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Are your eyes invisible?
No. God.
You're colorblind. You can't see blue, so that means your eyes are invisible, right?
I have trouble seeing red. Red.
How does that work for
We've
a
been
show
over
where
this.
we're talking primarily about blood? So does that mean blood is invisible?
Yes, Dom. Blood is invisible.
Oh.
When I cut myself, I don't know I'm bleeding.
Well, then you can't see your flesh, because it is now invisible.
Not red.
After there's blood on it.
Okay.
So,
Great opening.
you can see we're very excited for the Vampire Diaries to be back.
Indeed.
So, what'd you think of this episode?
I enjoyed it much more than I remember a couple of last episodes weeks ago. It seems so long.
It does.
For the past couple episodes, I was saying, we're getting to that mid-season point where every season of the Vampire Diaries starts to bore me when we get to this point. Either the break, or this was just a really good episode because I was not bored.
Probably a little bit of both.
Probably
I didn't
both.
think it was the most exciting of episodes myself, but I wasn't disappointed in it.
No, me neither.
So-
I was thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, so we finally get to see our first look at Damon, since he went dark side on us again. He shows up with Enzo. They're on a farm together, and Damon's feeding. They figured out a clever loophole. They find a human, they turn him into a vampire, and then Damon feeds off of him. I mean, that's a pretty clever loophole.
Yeah, it kind of is. Because he was going to feed off that human anyway.
Yeah,
So all they got to do is wait, the extra hour or so to turn him into a vampire.
yeah. Leave it to them two, right?
I know, right? That was actually really a clever idea. Something I didn't expect. But
Yeah.
to feed every 8 hours,
Yeah, that seemed a little excessive.
seemed a little nuts.
Yeah. So it's interesting how that's going to play out now, because later in the episode, we have Catherine, who's still pretending to be Elena, tries to get Damon to feed off of her and attempt to kill her in an effort for Stefan to end up killing Damon, which didn't quite work.
I didn't expect it to work.
I didn't either. But
That's really no.
yeah, that was a little weird on her part. Like, I was like, Stefan's never gonna kill Damon. Like, that's ridiculous. He ended up snapping his neck. So I mean, I guess he did kill him, but not permanently killed him.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, that the whole, because we had the travelers show up, right? Travelers show up. They locked Damon in the house. That's why Catherine and Stefan had to go to the house to find him. The travelers had sealed originally Damon and Enzo in the house, and said that Damon only had 8 hours to feed, or and either Enzo had to kill Damon or Damon had to feed off Enzo, and they weren't letting him out of the house until 8 hours was up.
Right. And
So-
Wes said that it's good. You're kind of helping me here because I want to see how long he can actually go before the temptation overtakes him. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty
What the
good.
hell is that noise?
Where? My end?
Yes. Music.
Someone singing horribly?
Oh. Perfect.
Fucking neighbors.
Gotta love those neighbors. They're doing karaoke on our show.
They're doing karaoke in the abandoned apartment across the hall.
Yes, we invited them to sing karaoke for our show.
I didn't invite them. They all suck.
So let Damon over there.
I wish.
So we yes, stuff and things. So we had Stefan finally at the very end of the episode. Stefan realized Elena is actually Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised it took this long, or did you expect it to be dragged out more? What were you expecting for the timeline on that?
I'm surprised it took that long based on this episode because, the first time we see Catherine / Elena, is sitting studying history with Stefan. Stefan asked her a question. Holy Roman, when was the legitimate end of the Holy Roman Empire? She says 16 something. He says wrong, 1800. She goes, no, it's the 1600s. Trust me, as if almost to say, trust me, I was there.
Right.
And I'm like, and then 12-hour car trip locked in the car with Stefan. I'm like, yeah. By the time they're gonna get halfway there, and Stefan's gonna realize.
Yeah.
So many obvious hints. And then Damon calls his phone. She answers. And is talking to Damon on the other line. And you're going to tell me that Stefan, with his super vampire hearing, didn't hear a fucking word of it?
Well, he was in the shower.
Still, comes out of the shower like, did you say something?
Well, he was in the shower and the water, which vampires in this series have turned water faucets on many times so they could talk, so the other vampires couldn't hear. So the running water masks the sound because it kind of echoes and it's right there with them. So I don't know. It's kind of a loud sound because if your hearing is amplified,
I guess you got me.
Yeah, so I could totally understand that, but yeah, she seduced him in the hotel room, and I shouldn't say forced, but got him to watch her change. Mm-hmm. Pretending like she didn't know he was doing it, and then started making out with him. And you could see Stefan was falling for it. He was hesitant. He was falling for it. He was hesitant. He didn't know what to do. And
he was like, I'll do it. No.
Yeah.
Interesting. Just the whole thing. I mean, back to Catherine's fuck-ups here. Stefan goes into the gas station. She opens the trunk where the engine is in this car and rips the radiator hose right off. Yeah. Just like, and then, gently puts it back in there sideways.
Yeah.
And then closes the trunk and all nonchalant. Then Stefan's checking it like, I have no idea how this hose broke. And it's like...
Now, radiator hoses, they don't snap like that.
No, they don't snap like that.
They're very
even when
flexible.
And even when they get, old and dry rotted and super brittle, mechanic here, I know what I'm talking about. They're not going to just entirely.
Yeah.
A hole is going to break. It's going to develop a leak.
I too am in the auto parts business. I'm in the distribution side of it, and I handle these hoses all the time, and they do not snap like that.
We're experts. Anybody with 5% of common sense would know that rubber does not do that.
That thing snapped like a piece of metal.
It was torn, obviously ripped. And I'm sitting there the whole time wow, way to just give yourself away. And then Stefan's like, I have no idea how this happened.
She just throws it.
I'm going to have to get a new one.
She just throws it back in, too. She just snaps it, throws it back in.
I guess it would be a little odd if it was missing entirely.
Missing?
Yes.
Well, what she could have done is crushed it so it was crumbled into dust, and then left
ripped
it in there.
a hole in it, or punctured it, or cut it, done something to it.
Stick your finger in the middle, big. Well, then I guess at that point he could just wrap something around it, and it would temporarily get them where they need to go.
But what's got me is why didn't the mechanic he bring it to be like, what the fuck happened to this?
I don't know. I love, of all things that we could talk about this episode, we are spending the most time talking about a radiator hose.
Hey, I am all for accuracy, the details in episodes, and that bugged me.
I know, you were ready to jump down their throats for the water incident.
It's exactly. Now I found one I can legitimately be perturbed.
And one that I could agree with you on.
Exactly. Let's move on, because I could spend all day talking about this.
Okay. So Tyler, he's in the process of looking for Matt. but they think Matt could be dead, injured, something. Nadia may have done something with him. That wasn't the case. Nadia took him away on like a little mini vacation, little road trip until the Vervain left his system. Did you think Matt was gonna find a way to let them know about Catherine, or did you think he was just gonna go along with it?
I was hoping he'd find a way. It would have been nice.
I mean, he basically did.
He kind of did, yeah, indirectly. No, I don't know. I was kind of hoping for it. I mean, yeah. Just eating at a diner.
I mean, this is kind of inevitably how Stefan pieced it all together, because at the end of the episode, you see Stefan going, well, Matt texts help K. He goes, what if the K is for Catherine? And, like, really? That was kind of a stretch at that point, I thought.
I know. Like, I'm like, there are about 4, maybe 5 huge, obvious, legitimate clues this whole episode. And the completely random, totally ambiguous, can mean anything, help K. That's what triggers it.
I mean, I can understand if it was help K.A. Like, that's a little, like, what other words begin with K.A.? Catherine?
Help.
Kathy? Like, that's
help.
it.
Kangaroo attack.
Yeah, right?
I mean, for all you know, he's at a zoo and a kangaroo is attacking him and he's calling for help.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't even think of any other K words off the top of my head, let alone K.A. So, like, I mean, I guess Catherine was a pretty reasonable choice. That's the first K word that springs to mind.
In this, yeah, help, kitchen. Like, help me, I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah, maybe
help, Kansas. Yeah. I woke up in Kansas. I don't know how I got here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that clue just, no, that didn't get me. What got me was Catherine's reaction, like, where are you? Oh, I'm just with Matt. He found out. Kill him.
Yeah. Did you think Nadia was going to go through with killing him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nadia likes him too much.
And Matt knows that. So you see Matt finally... See, Matt actually had a very interesting story this episode. Me and you had this discussion maybe 2-3 episodes ago. We were like, when is Matt actually going to become like a main character instead of like a reoccurring cast member? And it seems like he's almost there. But...
yeah.
All it's going to take is like 3 episodes of him not being on the show again, and he drops out of everybody's mind again.
He's back to reoccurring only main character from season 1 who's still human.
Right. I mean, Bonnie at this point, she's the anchor. She's a major part of the story, but she seems to be just a reoccurring character at this point. She doesn't seem to be part of the main cast anymore.
Same with Tyler.
Yeah,
and Tyler just pops back in.
Yeah. So, well, Tyler was kind of cross-promoting the originals, so he has an excuse.
Yeah. Oh, I cracked up laughing for no reason in the middle of this episode when Tyler's like to Caroline, just you slept with the guy who killed my mother. You know, it's gonna take, how long should it take me to get over that? But the look on his face made me think of the last episode when Catherine let that slip, and he walked down the stairs with that, you know, I have to go poop face. Like, just that ridiculous angry eyes look. He did it similarly again, and I just burst out laughing. I was drinking something. I shot it out my nose because it's way too funny. That look on his face. Like, that's your angry look? Really?
Yeah. His eyes bulge. He's got... I don't know. He's got this really, really... He's got great expressions. He's got great expressions.
I can't make my eyes bulge.
Yeah.
No matter what, I can't do it. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know. He does it great. So Nadia ends up wiping Matt's memory. But not completely. Why do you think that was?
Probably because she still likes him, and she wanted him to remember the little, you know, what is the word? Canoodling experience they had.
Canoodling.
That's the word of the episode.
That was the word of the episode.
We need to start a word of the day category for this, you know, podcast for Vampire Diaries. Word of the day is canoodling.
I feel like we're on Sesame Street.
I know, exactly. We need like a little graphic for it to pop up across the whole screen, like ding, 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 ding.
As everybody waits for this graphic to appear, that I'm
It's
still
not
not
happening.
editing in post. It's not happening.
Not happening. Apologies. Got your hopes up. But yeah, I guess she still likes him, and the thought of erasing all of that was emotionally painful for her.
Yeah.
She's already erasing a good portion of what they did for the past few days. So
Except for the
leave
canoodling.
something in there.
Got to keep the canoodling.
Canoodling. Keep that in there. Maybe it's enough to plausible cover story.
Can you canoodle while canoeing?
Is canoodling while canoeing, is that like rowing your canoe without a paddle, except you're using one of those foam pool noodles? You're canoodling then. Noodle. Yeah.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
It'd propel you, not effectively.
Hmm.
But it would.
You would. So Catherine ends up asking what happened to Matt, and Nadia just goes, I took care of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry.
I took care of it.
Yeah. So what do you think Catherine thinks at this point? Do you think she thinks Matt's alive? Do you think she thinks Matt is dead?
I don't think she cares.
No.
Well, she probably cares, whether he's going to spill or not. I don't think the question crossed her mind. As she said, I'm in too good of a mood to care about why you're mopey.
Basically.
More or less what she said.
Yeah. But before we get to the end of that whole little segment, going back to Enzo and Damon, Damon started feeding off of him, and the travelers started raising the acidity levels, I should say, in Enzo's blood, which caused Damon to stop feeding off of him, and then they gave Enzo the choice to either come with them or die to Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he made a wise choice by going with them?
Keeps him alive.
But
for
at
now.
what cost?
Yeah, I know. My major question that came out of this is, okay, Damon's infected with what they're calling a virus that makes him want to eat other vampires. He's done that. He rips all their heads off when he's done. He just goes full-blown Ripper mode. But now he fed off Enzo, but Enzo survived. If this is indeed a virus, doesn't that mean Enzo now has it?
It depends on how it's transmitted, and
right, exactly.
We know that vampire blood is supposed to heal, so is this something that would work itself out after a while? Like, if Damon is left without injections, like, is this permanent, or is this something that's going to go away?
We have no answers. I mean, right now.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If it's a virus, I think Enzo's infected. If it's not a virus and it's just a series of injections, then it's not permanent.
Because, I mean, he did refer to Damon as patient zero, so there's going to be side effects that he's even unaware of.
Right, and Wes is monitoring.
He has super strength. Damon has a lot more strength. He can now rip through iron, which is something normal vampires can't do. I don't even know if originals can.
Yeah, he can rip through... Well, we've seen Klaus rip out of worse chains than that.
No, but, I don't think we have.
Just the originals.
Just recently in the originals, all he did was pull the links through the wall links, and the other vampires were holding the chains. He was just pulling them that were holding it. They weren't tied into anything.
Oh, yeah, he didn't actually break the chains.
Yeah, so I don't even know if an original can break iron or steel or whatever like that.
Well, Damon ripped it. Just broke. Yeah, it was either the chains or the chair. Something broke when he started ripping at it. But yeah, I mean, Wes is monitoring him, trying to figure out still some fine details about the whole thing. So I don't think even he knows the full extent of what the hell he injected Damon with.
Yeah. I don't know.
I have my theories that Enzo's now infected with a virus. Or it's not a virus entirely. Because, I mean, it would be ineffective to spread virus if, Damon's patient zero and he keeps killing completely all of his victims.
Right. I don't think it was more a virus than it was a mutation.
Yeah, something like that.
So, but what about Tyler and Caroline? They're somewhere between friends and
They're frenemies.
yeah, frenemies.
So, my
How
thoughts
do
on
you think
that.
that's gonna play out?
Mm, there's only two ways it can play out. They're either going to be all lovey-dovey by the end of the season, or they're going to not be speaking again at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you which, because I have no idea. It could go either way at this point. But Caroline does seem kind of...
Tyler is pretty hot-headed, so I don't see them getting back together anytime soon.
No.
But yeah. So Catherine comes back to town. She meets up to talk with Nadia, and during the scuffle that they had when it was Tyler, Matt, Nadia, yeah, Caroline, Tyler, Matt, and Nadia.
Yeah, Caroline pins Nadia, scuffle. But Nadia turns around, pins Caroline, and Tyler comes in and tosses Nadia down, which...
It's like the WWF Royal Rumble.
Yeah, well, in this, Tyler does have the upper hand in this, being a hybrid and all that crap.
Right. But, and we find out that he actually bit Nadia.
He managed to get a bite off, yeah.
So Nadia's...
She's a corpse.
She's currently on her way to dying. She's going to start hallucinating soon. The whole nine works. Now, obviously, we know there's a cure for vampire bites. The cure is Klaus's blood. So, do you think we're going to see a crossover again? Either... Cat's going crazy upstairs. Either... I
don't know where mine is.
Either Nadia is going to go to the originals and see Klaus, or somebody... That's actually Damon running around upstairs, using his vampire speed.
Is that Sparta and Jasper?
Yes, it is Sparta and Jasper.
Awesome.
I don't remember. Either somebody's going to go to the originals, get the blood from Klaus, or Klaus is going to get lured back, for some reason or another.
Why, as he's going to put it, and why should I care?
Right. So, first let's go with, is she going to be saved? What do you think?
No.
Okay, you think she's going to die. I think she's going to be saved.
I'm going to say no because I think right now, okay, she's Catherine's major support, right? Everybody, Stefan, Caroline, and Matt have figured it out that Catherine's in Elena. So they're going to start figuring out a way to reverse it. Catherine's going to need support, but her support's going to die, aka Nadia. And then, the good guys are going to succeed and Catherine's going to get fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it going the other way, because Catherine literally has nobody at this point. She's just on the verge of being exposed. And if that's the case, she's going to have nowhere to go. She always has a plan. She has a plan A, B, C, and D. And then just when you think she doesn't have a plan, she has a plan E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So, an Elemento is just one plan. By the way, that's one letter.
Elemento.
Yes, it's my favorite letter of the alphabet. I think she's going to live. So let's say she does live. What do you think is more plausible? Klaus coming back to Mystic Falls or somebody from Mystic Falls going to New Orleans?
See, I don't know. See, I'm not sure which is more plausible. Before the events of the previous episode of Originals, I would have called it that Matt would go back and somehow convince Rebecca to convince Klaus to give the blood. But with how Rebecca and Klaus's relationship is right now, that ain't happening. So that was a plausible theory out the window. I don't know. Maybe it's time. I would probably someone's going down to New Orleans because we already saw an Originals crossover to Vampire Diaries. Now we need to see Vampire Diaries cross back over to Originals. Just needs to balance it out.
So you're saying that Tyler showing up. You saying Tyler showing up on Originals didn't count as a Vampire Diary crossover?
Oh, I entirely forgot about that.
We just talked about it earlier. So,
Okay, so it can go either way in the means of balance.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see Klaus going to Mystic Falls right now.
No.
He's too upset.
Well, the last we saw Klaus, he had a very, very large dagger in his chest.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe something that they go to Elijah for, and Elijah acquires it for them. But I don't know. Because if Elijah is keeping Klaus prisoner until he gets control of himself again, then he could easily extract the blood. So, I don't know.
And then why should Elijah care, though?
For Catherine. He's in love with Catherine.
That's right. Forgot about that little tidbit.
Yes.
Do it for Catherine's daughter.
Yes, because...
Maybe Catherine will go down there.
Yeah, because if Catherine goes down, she doesn't have to pretend to be Elena. She could just be Catherine.
Right.
Because Elijah didn't actually go down and visit. He was a hallucination when we saw him, so...
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. Anything else for this episode? I think we covered everything.
Dum 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 dum. Nope.
So next week, is called, I don't remember now.
Well, it's certainly not what that says right there.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
That is leading to your assumption right there that Nadia is in fact going to bite the dust. The synopsis reads, flashbacks to Nadia's search for Catherine. While Nadia remembers her centuries-long search for her mother, Stefan, Caroline, and Matt come up with a desperate new plan to save Elena's life. Okay, so we're probably going to have Nadia having some hallucinogenic flashback scenes from the werewolf toxin. For the second time, Bonnie and Jeremy must turn to Liv for help. So that's probably going to be to help Elena come out of Catherine's body. So do you think a witch can reverse a traveler spell? Because we know witches' magic cannot be reversed. It has to be bound to the same family of witches. But does traveler magic count? Is that under the same classification?
I don't know. Magic is magic at this point, but I have no idea what their methods are, how they do it. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe a witch can overcome a traveler.
Yeah, I don't know. Damon baits Tyler into a nasty confrontation, then takes off to seek revenge on Dr. West.
Well, that answers a question I had. How long do you think Damon's staying locked up in the basement?
Not very long.
Yep.
Well,
thank you, synopsis.
Yeah. Oh, that we forgot to mention that. We forgot to mention that Stefan and Elena had taken Damon back down to the cellar and locked him in the room again. And it was not the same cell that we typically see them in. This was a cell that in season 1 was where their uncle grew the vervain, and it was also in season 3 when Elijah was daggered and they dragged him and hid him in the that room there. Those are the only 2 occurrences of that particular. Oh, and Caroline Forbes was in there. Damon left her in there to drain her from vervain. Those are really the only the times we've seen that particular room. So, kind of curious why they locked him in that one as opposed to the typical one.
I don't know.
But yeah.
But he's locked in there.
Yeah. So apparently he gets out. So he takes a bite, or he baits Tyler into a nasty confrontation, takes off to seek up some revenge on Dr. West. Why do you think he baits Tyler into a nasty confrontation? Why Tyler of all people? Tyler's like one of the only people that can kill him. So do you think he's trying to die?
Either that, or maybe Tyler was just the closest pawn to him at the time.
Could be. Don't know. Caroline and Tyler come to a new understanding. So I guess they're somewhere between friends and lovers.
I guess.
I don't know.
Something.
Um, and finally, Bonnie learns of a terrifying secret that will threaten the lives of all her friends.
Dum dum dum.
Now, by all her friends, does this include Matt? Or is it all her vampire friends?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Hmm.
So, it's... I go back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. synopsis. It's like, someone discovers something that threatens the lives of the entire team every single goddamn episode. So that's what this is. Like, Bonnie learns of a terrifying secret that will threaten the lives of all of her friends.
I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of crossover with the dagger from the originals, if it's going to be affecting the vampire bloodline. That would be too crazy, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could explain that very well without forcing people to watch the other show. They've been doing a pretty good job of, if you haven't seen one, you could still understand it, and if they threw a big overarching story like that in there, I don't think it would work very well.
No. And, like you brought up when we were talking about the originals last time, they can't kill off Klaus because then half the main characters in Vampire Diaries explode. Well,
yep.
Die.
Mm-hmm. Unless Klaus was lying about being their sire, or being their
right,
the thing, but I don't think that's the case.
That would leave
I think
Elijah,
he was telling the truth,
or Rebecca.
Yeah,
but yeah, because if Klaus dies, then Catherine and Elena, doesn't matter, both die. Stefan, Damon, Tyler, would that work? Because he's hybrid. We don't know.
Yeah, Tyler would die.
So they would all just drop dead. Nadia, she's already on her way out, but still.
I think the secret that affects the lives has something to do with the doppelganger blood that the Travelers took. That's my assumption.
Oh yeah, I forgot they took that.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about it. That's typical Vampire Diaries. Is they take something, they do something, and then they don't say anything for 3 or 4 episodes, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, how long before the Traveler's Dagger showed up again?
A while.
Yeah. We were guessing about the Traveler's Dagger for like 4 or 5 weeks, trying to figure out what it did, and now we found out that it just kills the Traveler permanently. So that dagger is going to be what's required to kill Catherine.
And trying to think. They took the blood. Brain. Gone. No idea.
I don't know. I think they're going to find a way to put Elena back as the dominant being inside of her own body. Catherine's going to be somewhere in the background, and Catherine is going to be the one fighting to try to take over control of the consciousness at some point or another, which could place for a little bit of a cool dynamic, like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like, she keeps switching and doesn't know she's switching, and she's just like blacking out, losing time and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's some cool stuff they could do with it, but I guess we'll have to see.
We shall see.
Mike over there. Where can the people find you?
Down below.
Down below.
Down below. Different podcast. I'm crossing our memes here. They could find me.
Don't cross the memes.
Villain. Oh, I'm now depressed. Egon's dead. They can find me at THILLADREN.
Well, if only Egon had some vampire blood in him.
Yeah, I know.
You can find me at Phenomenodom, but for Mike here, who can't read that because it's in blue, it's PHENOMEDOM. You can find us both and others at tvcaptive.com, as well as the ASOTV podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Google+, Gmail, and Twitter. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what we missed and what you guys want us to discuss next episode. So, till next week. See you guys later.
Bye.
Why can't you read my lower third just because it's blue?
I can read it just fine. I can't read it right now. I can't read it right now because it's not there for me to see.
But you're colorblind. You can't read it at all.
THENOMEDOM. Yay. I can read it just fine, damn it.
It's blue. You can't read it. You're colorblind.